I got a pop quiz for you. Take a look at the big wall behind me, right over here. Which of these Republicans is not like the other? Hint, she's the one in Technicolor. We're about to get to her right about now. There she is in Technicolor. Those are the 21 Republicans that the House GOP has selected to lead its committees next year. 20 of them, 20, are white guys. The other, the one I just pointed to, is Michigan Congresswoman Candace Miller, who will chair the House Administration Committee, which is Congress's version of the Dunder-Mifflin Party Planning Committee. So the question is, how big a problem is the lack of female leaders in the Republican Party? And I got to say, that is a shocking picture in a lot of ways, but it reinforces some real problems the Republican Party has. I was looking at these notes. You look at the exit polls from this midterm election. Democrats, for all the pain that they suffered and all the strength of the Republican Party, they still carried women 51-47. You've got that picture up there, and then you look at that Republican presidential field we just talked about. There's really not a plausible right now potential Republican presidential candidate who's female that anyone's talking about in a serious way. The only name that's popped up recently is Carly Fiorina. I think for the Republican Party, this is a big problem.
I think it's totally a big problem. You know, there are some Republican women in the House leadership, not at the committee chair level. But I think Republicans really have to think about looking more like America. It's a big problem, and look, the Democrats don't have that perfected either by any means. But for the Republican Party going forward, if they can't find a way to get more women involved, and I think the presidential level is almost a crisis for them if they don't get a woman in the race. If they've got a field of 13 presidential candidates, all white men, and that's what they're headed towards with possible exception of one African-American if Ben Carson runs, and I should say there are some Hispanic candidates. I don't want to suggest it's all white men, but it's all men, and a lot of white men. And the lack of diversity there, I think, is just a potentially huge problem for them, defining the party going forward, particularly, of course, if the Democrats nominate a woman for president.
And this goes back to this thing about the two electorates, midterm electorate versus the presidential electorate. In the midterms, if you have a huge dominant performance among men, you can suffer a small loss among women. But when you get to that presidential nominating electorate, when there's so many more women who come out, so many more younger voters, you can't allow yourself to be gender gapped at that level, and they have a big problem if they can't solve